So I was best friends with this white girl that was dating a black person that she had a baby with, and I'm pregnant at the time. This is 2017, and I'm temporarily staying with her while I'm waiting on my apartment to come through. And one night, her and her baby daddy, which is, you know, the black guy, they got into it, and he started packing up his shit in his little black garbage bag to go tote on his back to his mama house, because that's just how these men be these days. And she didn't like that, okay? So she come in my room and tell me how she finna make this little plan to beat herself up and call the police and get him locked up, right? And saying that he the one that did it. Now keep in mind, he done got her locked up a couple times behind her calling the police on him. So he was now marked as a habitual offender, and the judge had already told me if he get locked up again, he's automatically getting 3 years in prison. And she knows this. So she proceeds to beat herself up in the other room, where I followed behind her, because after she left out of my room, they went back to arguing, and then they got quiet. So I didn't step out of my room to see where the bitch was at. And she was in her room beating herself up, indeed. And she did a good job. Now, her being a dumbass, not knowing that I'm black and I'm not finna let this shit happen, I'm just letting her continue with what she think I'm finna let happen, which I'm not. So now while he packing his stuff, he saying stuff to her. He actually get to look at her face and see that her face is ruined. So he asks her, like, what happened to your eyes? She's like, oh, I missed and hit it on the cabinet, or some shit, like some whack ass excuse she had. Now he feeling suspicious because, like I said, the girl crazy. So he must know, or this must not be new to him. So he knows she up to something. Now he pacing back and forth. He stepping in and out, stepping in and outside, like just constantly coming in and outside, right? Like I say, he feeling like some shit going on. Now at this point, she just trying to stay calm until the police come. Now she's trying to change the narrative before they get there. Now he's standing in the door, right? And we can hear the police coming from down the street, way down the street. Which was funny as fuck to me, because when police come for black women's call or black people call, they come quietly. But when she called, because she white, they came loud as fuck with the sirens on down the street. So once I hear the sirens coming down the street, I politely step to the outside, because like I said, he's standing in the door. So I step outside of the door and face him, and I whisper to him like, hey, them sirens is the police coming to get your ass, because she beat herself up and told the police you did it. When I say he went to like looking around crazy, and now he gathering shit to haul ass, she like, where you going? Don't go. Why you trying to leave me? Why you trying to leave me? This girl, he hauls ass out the door to go run, right? She chases this motherfucker, right? He haul ass between the gates, and he get the fuck away. Now the police come, right? Now when the police come, life for part 2. Now, like I said, the police arrives, and the baby daddy has hauled ass from the scene, right? So she don't even know that I told him what she did. So she's still sticking with the narrative of trying to call his phone to see why he left and trying to get him to come back, right? And he not going for it. You get what I'm saying? So he done dipped off, and he headed wherever he headed, and she steady calling his phone trying to get him to come home, and he's not going for it. So she's now telling the police what happened, and the police is getting her to, you know, do a statement and this and that and the third. So she don't know that I'm about to embarrass her ass soon as I get the right moment to do so. So while she writing her statement, and they're asking her more detailed questions of like where y'all was at, what happened, and she don't have all of those pieces of the lie even put together, because she didn't think that far. You get what I'm saying? So the police asking her questions, but it's not really making sense, because she didn't plan it out as far as what she was going to tell them when they asked her more details. You just thought you was going to tell them he beat my ass and that's it. No, they're going to ask you how, what hand, where. They bring the people out to take pictures and everything, calling a unit out for taking pictures of her, finna do a whole domestic violence case on this man, right? So I say, Caitlin, go ahead and tell these people that you're lying. Go ahead and let them know you're lying. I'm not lying. He did beat me up because I ain't know because nothing. I said, you know damn well you just sat in the house and told me you was finna do this because he was threatening to leave you when he was packing his bags. Don't play with me, girl. Don't play with me. And I called her some words. You get what I'm saying? I called her some words that, you know, I did. I called them some words. And they proceeded to arrest her, but she talked her way out of it. So they didn't arrest her. Privilege. Hello. But they didn't arrest her. But you know what's so crazy? She had a tracking on that man's phone and tracked him down the next day and brought him the fuck home. And you know what he did with his stupid ass? Got in the car and went home. And then you know what happened? Almost a month later, she pulled the same stunt, but she beat herself up and called the police while I was at work so that I couldn't say nothing. And you know what they did? They believed her. They believed her. And you know what his ass did? Went to jail. Actually, he went to prison for 3 years. He sure did. But they love them snow bunnies though.
Baby girl, you are a better woman than me. If I was in your situation, would I help him? No. You know why? Because he chose her. He chose her. And let me tell you something. If it was a black man, I can guarantee you he would look the other way. He would not have helped you. He would not have stepped up and helped you, because I have a, not me personally experienced, but I have seen so much to know that majority of them would not have helped you like you helped him. And just like you helped him, later on, he went back to the same girl because he chose her. He knew exactly who he got with. And a lot of them usually do know exactly what they get into, because guess what? If you were in the situation, this man would have raised his hand on you. But because she's, you know, a white girl with the right skin, therefore he could not dare to raise his hand on her, because he know that he could go under the jail if he were to do that. But because he chose to be with her, later on, he returned back to her and then still end up in jail. So even if you were trying to be a good Samaritan, try to be a good sister, try to help him out, he was still stupid enough to go back to her until he ended up in jail, exactly where he belonged. You know what I mean? And it's not because of who he is, but because of his stupidity. So yeah, I think you are a way better person than me, because I would just sit there. I wouldn't say yes, I wouldn't say no. I would not participate in that nonsense. I wouldn't say anything to the cops. I would act like I did not see anything, I did not hear anything. It's not my business, because he's a grown, capable man who make his own decisions. I don't know why black women feel like they have to wear a cape all the time to go and save the black man. Because that is the reason why they're not stepping up to be men, because we treat them like babies. She should have allowed the men to stay in the situation, deal with her, and then get the consequences, just like at the end of the story, because I knew that was going to happen even before she said that at the end of the story, that he got arrested and went to jail. I already knew that was going to happen. I already knew he was going to go back. I already knew he wasn't going to really, you know, leave her, even though she's the reason he's in jail right now. I knew he wasn't going to do that. He stayed. He stayed because that's what he wanted to be. But you wanted to be Captain Save-A-Ho. So you wanted to save him. The whole time, he probably was laughing in your face because he wanted to be there. He wanted to be arrested. He wanted to be portrayed as the criminal, as the person who is a woman abuser. He knew who he was getting into. It's not like he dated her not knowing that she could possibly do that to him, because she did that before. The way she did it, it was so smooth. It was so nice. She did it with ease, as if it was something that she was used to. So he knew what he was getting himself into. So why would you try to save him? He wanted to be there. So you should have just let him be. Am I wrong for saying that? That's my opinion. That's just my opinion, and it will never change, because that's just how I see it. Yeah. He wanted to be there, because let me tell you, if the roles were reversed and this man was present with you being abused by another man, you know what he would have said, especially if it was a white man? You know what he would have said? You chose him. You chose wrong. It's your fault for choosing that guy. So yeah, I would have never stood up for him. I would have never stood up for him. And not at all. Even if it was my brother, I would allow him to make his own mistake, because he's a grown, capable man who chose that person. He chose that person. He chose her. So he needs to deal with her accordingly. And she needs to deal with him accordingly, because they're two grown, capable people. Black women need to put that cape down and stop trying to save men. Stop trying to save black men. Let them be grown, capable men. That is the reason why they keep saying that black women, treat them like children. Because we don't allow them to make their own mistakes. While you try to be Captain Save, I understand she's your best friend and you saw what she was doing. She told you what she was going to do. You could look at her and say, okay, well, I'm going to remember that. I know that you're not a great person, especially when it comes to people who look like me. But I would never step into their situation and try to speak for him. For what? He's a grown man. Anyway, that's my take. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.